What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1,
and we're back at it to answer your questions in another installment of For the Greater. Tell them what it is, Gersh.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question about Warhammer 40K or about just life in general, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first.
And this is exactly what A. Wolfenstein did not do. Because this is a very special, I guess, wow. It's a very heretical one. And I thought his comment was very thought-provoking, very controversial. So here it is. A. Wolfenstein says, well, here's our interpretation of it. We're going to ask you guys, is the Emperor an idiot?
Basically.
And here are his points. So he created an Eldar webway on Terra without proper knowledge of this technology, webway project. He created 20 godlike superhumans to ensure his tyranny over humanity, but he didn't really have a way to keep them in check. He always kept these Primarchs in shadow. He never informed them about what he was doing. And he had the Edict of Nicaea, which is basically banning psychers. And he also led a sudden strike against the Vengeful spirit, sacrificing Sanguinius, Malkador, and himself. This is during the end of the battle for Terra. So, because of this, he's saying that yes, the Emperor is a fool who created an empire of ashes. Freedom is the only thing worth fighting for. That is why tyrants always fall. That's what Angron said.
That's deep, Angron.
For a guy so angry, he's very philosophical.
So this is what I'm just gonna comment on your reasoning. No, I don't think the Emperor is foolish. So help us out and comment down below so we can talk about what all this is. But so first of all, him creating an Eldar webway when he didn't know the technology. He didn't, but at the same time, he did, because it wasn't like something that just sparked out of nowhere. He's been around for millennia, and he's known about the actual device is the Golden Throne. The Golden Throne, he modified it. He's been experimenting on it. So it's not something that he didn't know anything about. He studied it for many, many years, probably even before the Unification Wars. During, a little bit after the Unification Wars. As soon as he discovered the Golden Throne, he was like, bam, let's start researching this thing. And that's something that we all do. They did that during World War II with atomic weapons. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can make the argument that, if by your logic, you can make the argument that we didn't know what nuclear weapons, or the power of nuclear weapons, but clearly we did, because we studied them. They've been around forever. Nuclear power exists.
You got uranium.
So we just harnessed it. So in that way, the Golden Throne was around forever. The Emperor was just trying to harness it, which you can't blame him for that. Creating 20 godlike superhumans to ensure the tyranny over humanity, but then he didn't keep them in check. He didn't have to, because they were specifically created for him, or they were specifically created by him with those checks and balances already there. Yes, there were flaws in their genes, but those flaws came about from chaos and from just, it happening. But again, things malfunction. When we create technologies like that one phone that exploded, that doesn't mean Samsung is stupid. It was just there's something wrong in the whole process. The company of Samsung still creates other products that are pretty well. Same thing with the Emperor created these 20 Primarchs. A couple of them went traitor, but at the end of the day, the Imperium still holds. They didn't win. Horus Heresy did not succeed.
Or did it? But that's a topic for another time.
and then, but basically what I'm trying to say with that point is that the checks and balances were there, they just didn't work. And then he always kept his Primarchs in the shadows. I think this stems back to the fact that the Primarchs were going to be destroyed once they were done with what he needed them for. He was going to destroy the Primarchs just like he destroyed the Thunder Warriors. And then the Edict of Nicaea, yes, he's stupid for that. That is everybody has psychic powers. You can't ban them. What is it called? like the thing with the whole drug thing, like people ban or we ban heroin, cocaine, marijuana, all that kind of stuff, but in reality, sugar, coffee, and
well, like caffeine and
that's probably just as bad. It just doesn't get you the same type of high, I guess.
Right, and also there's not I guess there's not money to be made by the government, so that's why the government bans these narcotics.
Yeah.
Because like, what's the difference between like medical marijuana and just recreational marijuana? Like.
Yeah, but basically prohibition doesn't work.
Yeah.
Prohibition just creates problems. So yes, he's stupid for the Council of Nicaea.
And also he's like oppressing a really powerful force that he could use, you know. Because you see how powerful Magnus is.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, nah, don't be that powerful. It's like, just sit down.
Be humble.
There you go.
Leading a sudden strike against the Vengeful Spirit, sacrificing Sanguinius, Malcador. So he took that as an advantage. Like he saw that the shields were down. He went for it. It just so happens that they scattered them. But that was never the intention. So again, it's just like an honest mistake. So is he foolish? No.
It's like, oh, you know, here's the worst enemy. Finally, his defenses are down. You're going to go in for the strike.
Yeah.
So
you'd be crazy not to. Oh, and another thing too for the checks and balances thing, where you're saying that the Primarchs had no checks. He was the check.
Yeah.
He can kill all the Primarchs.
I mean, you saw what happened to the 2nd and the 11th Legion. It's like, hey, these guys, obviously there's something wrong with it, you know.
Oh yeah, that does bring up a point. That is another check too. So like those two guys, those two Primarchs were exiled or destroyed. That's basically his way of bringing fear into the
rest
Primarchs, yeah. Because Rogodorn and who was it? Was Rogodorn and somebody else?
Lorigar, I believe. Two Primarchs were speaking about it.
Yeah, and they were saying like, oh, be careful. Oh, Sanguinius and Dorn, they were talking about, you know, be careful, don't become like one of these guys. So punishment and checks were there. Mm-hmm. Do you agree?
No, actually, I'm on the opposite side of you. Yeah, I think he's very foolish for doing what he did. He could just to go really quick. I'm just going to talk about 2 big points. Yeah, he should have kept his Primarchs in the know. They were his generals. Uh-huh. When you're in war, I think it's very beneficial to everybody be on the same page. And when you're hiding out information, that's going to cause doubt in your generals, especially when they're leading, you know, these super soldiers that could be very potent if they're pointed in the right direction.
Yeah.
And since you're holding back, you're kind of stunting your own growth. Like, the Great Crusade could have been so amazing if he would have kept everybody in, gave everybody, you know, their own rewards.
Yeah, rewards, yeah.
Naming Horus as War Master, that's kind of like saying, oh, he's my favorite. I you know, everybody else is belittled, so he's kind of like pushing them away. So it would have been more of an equality to it. So that's where he kind of messed up. He did mess up big time again with the Edict of Nicaea. He had to, if anything, he should praise the Psychers for being mutants, I guess. They could use their powers for good and stuff, instead of just saying nah. And lastly, I guess I do agree with you on that last part where he kind of sacrificed himself. But he's sacrificing himself for the betterment of the Imperium. Now you gotta think about it, he's only one man. Yes, the Emperor is a man. He's not like augmented or anything. But again, that's up for debate. It's theorized.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, humanity is flawed, and that just shows you that
the Emperor is flawed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So there you go, guys. Very thought-provoking. Let us know what you guys think.
Rage comment.
Please.
Scream heresy.
Even though this wasn't even a question by us, this was one of you guys saying this. So.
Yeah. But you chose sides. You said he's foolish.
I said he's foolish.
You Tau scum. Anyways, next question.
Where to begin with? Okay. Peter Seba. If the warp is connected only to the Milky Way galaxy, what would happen to one's soul if they were to die outside the galaxy?
I think it would be like purgatory. You kind of just like drift in nothing.
Be in limbo.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be like Inception.
Oh, that's the worst kind.
The top would just keep spinning.
Almost teetering, but not quite. Yeah. But maybe it is, but maybe it isn't.
Next question comes from Cade Martinez. Were the Tau created by the Eldar? Yes. like how the Eldar were created from the old ones to fight the Necrons. Thanks for all the great videos and keep up the great work. Yes, I'm going to create a 40 facts video if I haven't done so already. But yes, I do believe that the Tau were created by the Eldar.
I don't. Man, we're just butting heads today.
I know.
This one is by Josie Ferry. Could some powerful Eldar Farseer like Eldred Othran sit on the Golden Throne and take the Emperor's place?
No.
I don't think so. Nah.
Because like if Malkador the Sigillite couldn't do it, and he was the second strongest Psyker of all, yeah, he could only hold it down for like a couple, well, for the Emperor to leave and then come back.
And he was already like drained. He was like dying and becoming like decrepit and what.
Yep.
So literally, it took everything for him for just like a short amount of time.
Yeah.
When the Emperor's been sitting on it for how long?
Yeah, 10,000. Next question comes from Grand Crusader. You have just busted out of an orc prison and found your way into a mech boy workshop filled with all manners of orky tech. How do you best use this to escape? You are with 3 other boys, or people, and the Gretchens that help you escape for a total of 5 escapees. 1 smelly Gretchen, and have only what you can find in the shop to work with. If you're wondering, this is a situation I'm working on for a short story. Now, you weren't specific, but
What clan are you in?
well, I don't even think you're. You're saying that we're not orcs, or we are orcs?
No, they're people because it says you're with three other people.
Oh, okay.
So you're like a human. You're an Imperial Guard captive, and you guys busted out.
Okay, I'm sorry to tell you this, but in the lore it says that only orcs can use orc technology. If another human being tries to use orc technology, it blows up in their face.
They can still use like daggers and stuff.
Yeah,
like, look, a knife.
Yeah, boom! It explodes in your face.
Yeah.
Ah, my eyes. No, so fine. We'll omit that part of the lore, and we'll say that yes, you can create something. I would go straight for a rock. So during God schools, no. You know what? I would gather the materials needed. I would ask the Gretchen, because the Gretchens, they have to know, they're smarter than all the other orcs. I would tell the Gretchens, listen up guys, you guys need to find me the device that we could put together to create a custom teleporter. They'll gather it together, we'll run not to the ship bay where most orcs think that we would head to. Oh, as a matter of fact, I would sacrifice 1 Gretchen. I'm sorry, it's a Gretchen. No, you know what? I'll sacrifice a Grot, because there's Grots running around everywhere. So I would make the Grot make some type of commotion in the hangar bay where all the Daka jets and everything are at, because they would think, oh, we're trying to escape on a Daka jet. So they would run that way. All the orcs would run that way. Meanwhile, we would go into a utility closet, assemble the teleporter, and teleport ourselves, safe to safety, I guess.
Interesting.
Either that or teleport us outside of the prison to hopefully a rock in the sky that we can commandeer, and yeah.
Interesting. I probably would get my guys and try to find a cold one. That way I can crack it open with the boys around us, and we don't have a merry time.
So you're just be like, fuck it, I broke out of the prison, but there's no more going away from here.
No, so might as well crack open a cold one with the boys.
With the boys. All right, next question.
Become one with the orcs. Let's see. Dragon Punch 903. If the Emperor never killed Horus and instead just captured him, how would 40K be different?
Well, the heresy would have never ended.
No, because they would have just tried harder to get Horus back.
And it would just be a completely different game. I don't think they could hold Horus prisoner for that long. The reason that Horus felt regret was because the Chaos Gods last minute were like, taking away all your powers because you failed us. But if he was captured, the Chaos Gods would keep giving him that power, and the fight would have continued.
It would have been cool to, instead of having the Emperor sit on the Golden Throne, it'd be like a prison. Like the Golden Throne would be a prison, and he'd be sitting on there.
That'd be badass, yeah.
It's like the Golden Throne is actually powered by chaos. More heresy in this video, guys.
Who is this is the last question.
Last question. No, I don't have one.
Fine. Conan 1812. Will the Emperor rise again? And if they did, would that be the end of chaos? Will the Emperor rise again? Maybe. I can see GW doing that. It would change the game completely, or it would change the lore completely. But I can see GW doing that.
Yeah. It'd be like one last hurrah, and they're pushing chaos back.
And then would chaos be wiped out? No.
Because as long as you got humanity, you're gonna have anger, violence, pestilence, that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. And those were the questions for this week. Thank you for sending those questions our way. If you have more questions, comment down below.
We do this 3 times a week, so if we didn't get to your question today, we'll probably get it tomorrow or the day before. Check out our WAWs. And yeah.
This was Gershwan.
Sound Alchemist, One Mind Syndicate, signing.